It's DeeDee here from Chips and Salsa. I'm gonna give you a tour of our schoolroom. Well, first I just want to say that we haven't always had a schoolroom. When we first started out, we did homeschool in the dining room. And one great tip that I have for that is my husband would get so tired of having glue and eraser dust, whatever that stuff is, marker pens, glitter all over the dining room table when we would sit down for dinner. And so he suggested putting a tablecloth, which made the world of difference. So we put a tablecloth over the dining room when it was school time. And I also would put a writing mat, which is just a laminated board. And they come in so many educational prints. So we still use those now. Right now, all the kids have the presidents of the United States on their maps. We also have the map of the United States. We have rocks and geos. We have the periodic table. And so it's just kind of keeping that information out in the forefront for them. And it's an awesome resource. And we would also bring up the whiteboard and put that up on the windowsill and then take it down when we were done with school. So there was a lot of cleanup and setup that had to take place, but it allowed us to have a dining room and a schoolroom at the same time. So I was grateful for that season, but we grew up a little bit and everybody got bigger and we got more and more books, and we decided to clear out some stuff down in the basement and move downstairs. So that's where we are now. Every once in a while it gets a little bit damp down here during the winter, and we'll just bring stuff upstairs and do stuff there. But it's working out great and we have lots of storage, and I must admit we're not as diligent about cleaning up, but it stayed pretty nice so far. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour around and show you what we've done with the place. So we'll start over here on this end. Here we have our morning chant, and then I have a bookshelf here with just some books that we've collected over the years. And these cubbies are where the kids keep their math school books. So each person has a cubby. So it's Micah, he's red, David's green, James is blue, and Angie is pink. And then there's some resource books down below. So that kind of helps keep their work areas nice and neat. We do school down here in the basement, but it's open up to the yard, which is really nice. So we utilize that a lot during the day. This is our whiteboard. We just recently got a brand new magnetic whiteboard with our school funds, which I love. So I'm excited about that. On the board, I leave on our kind of schedule or routine for the day. So after Bible comes math, then language arts. We're doing dictation and the writing course. For history today we read. We did snap circuits for science, and then I reminded them of their book club assignment that is due and what reading they should be working on during their reading time. So in the morning we take care of all the core stuff, math, language, and science and history. And then in the evening, after lunch, the afternoon, they sit down for a quiet reading, and that's when they can work on their book club assignments and any homework. Homework is anything they didn't finish during the day. Over here on the wall, we have the contracts that they signed at the beginning of the school year, talking about their goals and how they're going to work hard on those. And then this area of the room is kind of my work area. So I have this nice big table where I can lay out assignments for the kids, or I can just collate papers or work on my own projects. And if you saw Ximena's video, you saw her salt lamp and diffuser. I was so inspired, I went out and got myself a salt lamp to freshen up the air and purify the air down in our basement. So I'm just getting that, and I'm happy about it. And this we use for our math worksheets and blank papers, and then they turn in their papers up here when they're done, which just kind of helps keep organized so they're not just throwing papers at me. Ximena mentioned this awesome pencil sharpener, and yes, works great. I love it. And then I have just some storage here for pencils and tape and paper and markers, things like that. And I like to use this ball to toss for like quizzes at the end of the week and things like that. These are just some old speakers that I have, and I use that with my iPad to play music from our Chips and Salsa Spotify playlist, or the writing course is an audio course, so I'll play the audio for that. Every once in a while I might show a video. So it comes in handy to have some speakers down here. On the side here is just some storage, and I have more of these mats that I was telling you about. Last year we did the periodic table, so right in front of the kids all the time, they were getting familiarized with the periodic table. And then over here is my work area for the school. I have my daily lesson planner, which I make on my computer, and I write in the assignments and what we're doing each day. And I just have my markers and pencils and curriculum and books and whatnot. And here I have some cubbies for each of the kids for things that I didn't want them to have in their own cubby for whatever reasons. Assignments I'm going to be giving them in the future and whatnot. My 3-hole puncher and some more curriculum books and some of my old books from college up there. On the very top we have a little more storage and our globe. I didn't have a good place to put that usable, but we pull it down when we need to. And James made an astronaut helmet a couple years ago, so he didn't want to throw that away, so we store that up there. This is our calendar, and I try to mark it with colors so the kids can kind of see what to look ahead. Our reading pacing guide for our book club book, and I have room for more stuff that I may put up there in the future. I have our easel stored here, and I have these nice portfolio envelopes for their artwork, which is really cool. Some more storage back here. And then this year we're studying electronics and circuits for science, so we have some nice big kits, which I'm loving. It's so fun. Here I have our art storage, our math manipulatives, and a bunch of science storage from science kits. Like I said, we did chemistry last year, we did astronomy the year before, we did biology the year before that, and I don't like to give stuff back right away because you never know when you want to visit something, or next time we come around to biology again, we'll be able to play that game again. And you always can use a science kit, so I'm a little bit of a science nerd anyways, so I love that stuff. This is Angela and James's workspace. So they're kind of in the middle of the room, but that's the table that we had available. But it works great. So James on this side, as you remember, the blue, and Angela's the pink box, and then they have their president workspace, because this table is not the smoothest, and I have the tablecloth over it, so the mat gives them a nice hard surface to write on. And bonus, they can be looking at all the names of the presidents and practicing whenever they get a free moment. Right next to them is David's work area, and he is green. He's got his Kindle. He's usually pretty neat, so he leaves it basically like this, although if it was me, I would leave it like that. And above his desk is a large map of the United States on just some corkboard that I purchased a couple of years ago. So that's been multi-use. I've used that a bunch. And I have another one over here I wanted to show you actually, because when we did class in the dining room, I would slide these behind the cabinet and then I would pull them out. So I didn't have a way to put up posters or signs in our classroom permanently. So I bought these big boards, and this is when the kids were verse learning about verbs, nouns, pronouns, and I wanted the definitions to be up while we were doing writing, but I didn't want to totally transform our dining room into the classroom. So this was a way that I could do it, and it worked out great. They're past that stage now. So on the other side of the board, I just never changed it because, hey, you never know when somebody's gonna need a refresher. And I didn't have anything I needed to put on it because we're still using this other side, which is the world map, which you use all the time. So the world map's on the other side, and we reference that often. And then Micah Jr.'s desk is here. And for the boys' desk, I just got an IKEA table and a folding chair, and that's been working great for us. It's a little dark in this corner, so I constantly have to remind him to put his lamp on, but it works pretty good. And that's pretty much it. So that's it. I hope that gives you some inspiration, some encouragement that, hey, it doesn't have to look awesomely beautiful like Pinterest, but it can be functional and it can work for your family. And so that's what we have in the future. It'd be great to have some new flooring, some paint on the walls, but that's for future DeeDee to worry about. As of now, I'm worried about loving my kids and giving them the best discipleship, the best mothering that I can provide with the Lord's help. So that's it for my classroom tour. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, you'd like to buy me a diffuser to go with my salt lamp, whatever it is, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video. We'll see you next time. Bye.